American businesses weren't hiring much in July. The monthly jobs report was supposed to show about 183,000 new jobs were added to the economy. But it didn't. Only 162,000 people got jobs, the slowest month for hiring since March. The other big disappointment, the numbers for May and June were revised down. Hampton Pearson takes a closer look behind the numbers, the reasons why the jobless rate actually notched lower, and the troubling trends that we're now seeing in the labor market.
Economists see several factors behind the weaker-than-expected July jobs report, with employers adding just 162,000 workers to payrolls and a downward revision of 26,000 jobs from the government for the previous 2 months. Employers, especially small businesses, are hiring more part-time workers in anticipation of higher health insurance costs tied to implementing Obamacare, and private sector defense contractors are feeling the impact of the sequester.
The last 4 months, we've created 4.2 part-time jobs for every 1 full-time job. That trend is not going in a good direction, and you mix that with the sequester, and what you end up with is lower average earnings, lower average work week, and that is not a good trend.
While the Pentagon has furloughed some 650,000 civilian defense workers, the private sector doesn't really have that as an option. Pragmatics, a suburban D.C.-based information technology company, laid off more than a dozen employees in a satellite office when a contract was abruptly canceled. COO Joe Brock says furloughed workers might not stick around.
The type of work we do is IT, and it's high tech. There is a lot of demand for employees that do that type of work.
Even the unemployment rate, moving to a 4.5-year low of 7.4%, was due to a labor force that is not growing. Most of the hiring being done by restaurants, hotels, and bars, and a lot of those jobs are part-time. With Americans working fewer hours, the average pay dipped. Economists are divided over what the July jobs report means for the Federal Reserve.
It still leaves it ambiguous whether or not the Federal Reserve will taper in September or December. I don't think they know yet, but it makes it very data dependent on the data coming out over the course of the next month.
So that means see you in September with the post-Labor Day jobs report, budget battles, and the debt ceiling debate heating up. And yes, the Federal Reserve will weigh in as well. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Hampton Pearson in Washington.